Okay, so what do you actually say when you're in front of the prospect? So I'm going to give you a particular strategy I think works well in this business. As you know, I herald direct mail final expense leads and final expense sales. Direct mail is king. And the thing that you probably have heard me say, if you've seen a lot of my videos, is there's a tremendous level of saturation in this business. People, and again, this strategy works more so, I'll just preface it with this, if you do work a list. Even if you don't, you can, I'll give you a script for that too if you don't work the list either. But let's say you're working a list. I know a lot of you guys would like to work a list. I think that's fine. So what do you say when you have a list? So if you have a list, we know that all these people, if we get the demographics to a typical final expense lead, they get leads like this constantly. They probably get several a month, probably 6 to 8 direct mail leads, not to mention all the junk mail that comes in. So let's leverage the fact that we know they get these leads and use this to our favor in calling out for appointments. So how do you do it? So when you go knock on the door and the person answers, you say, "Hi, my name is David Duford. I'm here because you received a card probably similar to this sometime over the last month or so. Most people send this back because they're looking for some kind of coverage for final expense, like burial, cremation. I'm here because I'm pretty sure you did not send this back, and my job is to follow up with people who don't, and I wanted to see if you'd like to learn more about how it works." That's it. You use a very similar script that I teach to actually work the leads, and you show them the lead card. Now, you may be saying, "Well, Dave, this isn't an exact lead. How do you know what they've seen and what they haven't?" Well, what I say in the script, I say, "You probably have received something like this particular card." So when I say it like that, they look at it and they'll start reading it. They qualify for a state-regulated program, final expenses, benefit information. Yeah, I think I've seen something like this. So you're leveraging that we know that these people get all sorts of these kind of cards. And it's very likely that they've seen them, and they've seen them over and over and over and over again. But we're not saying, "Hey, I sent you this card." So we're not, pulling their leg, but we're saying, "Hey, you probably received something like this before." Talks about final expense coverage. Most people, and then again, I tell them most people send this back because they're concerned about covering for the burial costs and cremation expenses. Now, I'm here because I'm pretty sure you didn't send this in. And my job is to follow up with people who have an interest in this, but didn't necessarily send this in. Would you like to know more about how it works? Or may I come in? Whatever approach on the close you want to use. Pretty straightforward, right? Nothing too complicated. We're using this information, and we're asking for the appointment. And the strategy here, again, is that we've got something they're familiar with. Trust me, these people have been getting these cards since they turned 50, several times a week in many cases. They think it's a bunch of crap sometimes, or they're confused by it. So when you bring this up and show them something like this and start reminding them about it, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, what is this all about? How does this work?" Or "I've been thinking about sending that in." You'll get that too. So there's a lot of opportunity out of using this particular lead. So what if you don't use a list? What if you take my advice, you just go walk down the street? You don't need a lead piece. You really don't need anything at all. All you got to do is walk up to the door, introduce yourself, say, "Hi, my name is Dave Duford. What's your name again?" "I'm Sally." "Hey, Sally, I help people like you with their life insurance needs, but only if they don't have coverage, or only if they want something affordable. Is this something you'd like to learn more about?" This is a script I went over that I learned from Claude Whitaker's sales prospecting book. It's great to use over the phone. It's very good to use face-to-face too. It cuts right to the bone. It's not some prolonged script to bore the people to death and make them resent you. It gets right to the point. I help people with life insurance, but only if they're, you could look at the person, and this is what's called the constraining statement in the cold call script. I work with people who want life insurance coverage, but only if they're, under 60 years old. Let's say you have somebody who's in their 40s or something. You say, but only if they're under 60 years old. Was this something you'd like to learn more about? And then if they say, great, then you can start to have a conversation with them. Tell them kind of what you do. tell them you need a few minutes just to show you kind of how it works, go look at some options, blah, 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 set the appointment an hour or later or whatever. That's the script I would use if I did not use a list. If you'd like a little bit more detailed analysis of how that script works, there's a video I did a couple weeks ago with a cold calling script regarding how Claude Whitaker teaches it. Excellent book, by the way. You should pick it up.